At this point, you've learned a lot about graphing linear equations. You also know how to solve linear equations. You know about slope-intercept, standard form. There's so much that you know. Today is going to be an extension on that knowledge, and basically it's this. What if you need to find the slope of a line, but you have no equation and you have no graph? How do you find the slope of the line if the only thing you have is like at least 2 points of the line? You have the coordinates of it, but that's it. Well, you're going to use this formula, and as we learned in the last lesson, m stands for slope. So basically, the slope is going to be y minus y on top and x minus x on bottom. And this is our rise that we'll find after the subtraction, and this will be our run after we do the subtraction on the bottom. Where do we get the y's and the x's from? Well, that comes from our coordinates. So if you have 2 points, let's say that this point was on the line, 2, 4, and let's say that this point, -3, -8, was on the line. They're on the same line, and we said, what's the slope of this line that went through these 2 points? And this is all that they give us. We break out our equation. M equals y minus y over x minus x. Be very careful that you put your y values on top, because a lot of times people will accidentally put their x values on top. Now, you recall that the coordinates are an x followed by a y. Well, this is all that we do. We very carefully put our y values in. 4 is the first y that I see, so that's going to go right here. -8 is the next y that I see, so that's going to go right here. You'll notice that the minus sign was already there, and the -8 slides right up against that minus sign. Now, because I put the 4 in first, I started right here, I'm going to put its x value in the coordinate first on the bottom. So that 2 goes right here. This 2 plugs right in here to this x. There's the minus sign, so I'll go ahead and write that. And here's my next x value that's going to go right here. This x value is -3, so I'll write that below. Go and solve. If you can simplify your slope, you go ahead, but if not, you realize that you found the answer. The slope is 12 over 5. Now, sometimes the coordinates are not going to be given to you as just, in parentheses, just like this. A lot of times they'll like to disguise it in a table. And so this -2 and -6 is what they're trying to tell you is one of the points on this line. All of these points are on the line. That 0, 0 is the same as this. And so it's the same information that you're used to seeing, but it's being basically hidden within a table. You just have to understand that, okay, the x is right next to the y value, and that lets me be able to set up my ordered pairs. Now, the other situation that you run into here with the tables is they usually give you way too much information. You only need 2 points. Remember, um, y minus y. We can get two y's from two different points. So what I advise you to do is choose the smallest numbers that you can. I'm going to choose this point, and I'm going to choose this point because there are no negative signs. Negative signs can get a little bit extra work sometimes. Let's see if you remember the formula. Slope equals y minus y over x minus x. Now, let's see. How about we do 6 minus 0, because these are our y values, right? And 6 minus 0 is easier than 0 minus 6. So that's the reason I said that. And then since I started with the 6 on top, I have to use this x value to start on the bottom. So it'll be 2 minus 0. And we get 6 over 2, which is 3. So our slope is 3. Now I want to come back and I want to show you how you can use any of the 2 points, and you will get the same answer every single time. Let's use these two that I'm circling in blue. Let's see, 9 minus -6, because it's the y value minus the y value of the other point. And then since I started with the 9 for my y values, that means I have to go with the coordinate, the x-coordinate from where this 9 came from. So that means it's a 3 minus -2. Now watch how this just simplifies very easily down to 15 over 5, which simplifies down to 3. So again, it does not matter which 2 points that you take. What matters is that you plug them in correctly into this formula, because a lot of times what happens is that people see this 2 right here, which is the x value, and they want to put it right here in for the y value on top. And then what that causes at the end is you would get 1 over 3, and you'd be saying your slope is 1/3, and that's incorrect because you put your numbers in incorrectly into the equation. Last one that I want to show you is that other times they'll put brackets around all of your ordered pairs, and it's just like with the table, you're going to have more information than what you need. You only need 2 points. And so what again I recommend you do is choose one that's all positive if possible, so that way you don't have to worry about the negatives, and then set it up in a way that you can have an easy subtraction problem. This 6 of the y value is bigger than this 2 of the y value, and so if I say 6 minus 2, that means I go with this point first and I go with this one second, so 3 minus 1. My slope would be 2. So please, please, please just pay attention to how you plug them into your formula of y minus y and x minus x. Whichever point that you start to plug in your y value, make sure you go back to this point to plug in the x values to start it.